Handshakes all around, and we are underway with frame one of this best of 3 round robin match. Tessa Davidson set to break off. And way back in the early 90s, Tessa did have a stint on the main tour. Great to see. And Bexley Young has been around the game for a few years. She's definitely proven her place, both in the women's and the main tour. Kind of almost the hometown gal here, shall we say, as she's got some sponsorship from Ox Billiards. They provide the necessary monies that she needs to participate in a lot of these tournaments. This one's kind of tough to tell. You know, there might be maybe just a slight advantage to Tessa just because she's been around the game for quite a while, but we'll find out in a few hours' time to see who is going to take this match. First match of the day for both players, so just engaging themselves in a safety battle, kind of wanting to force their opponent to make the mistake to get an easy starter, because both these players have the ability, if they can get in, they can score quite heavily. Well, happy wonder question in a few hours' time. You never know. You know, that's what's interesting about this game of snooker. Some frames can go rather quickly. Sometimes they can get really tied up if a colored ball goes over a pocket and reds block it. So the unpredictability of this game is what draws us in all the time. Hopefully all our friends over at Fast Eddie's in the UK are tuned into this. Remember in our previous TV match, they were all getting geared to put their support to their favorite, Tessa Davidson. So glad you're tuning in across the pond as it's getting into the Saturday evening, as we're just past midday in the Pacific Northwest. We're in the evergreen state of Washington. Seattle is the city we're in at this great venue, Ox Billiards. Definitely a place to circle on the map if you're ever out here and you're a fan of Q Sports. They've got all the facets here. Snooker, which we're watching this weekend. They also have great 8-balls, and they have a Chinese 8-ball table. Good long, confident red. This angle on this pink into the left middle is going to shoot her up table, and it's got to negotiate that red against the cushion, just making killing that much more difficult. Looks like maybe she's lining up for the yellow pocket. A little bit more distance. But we'll put her nicely onto a red. Switching up her mind there. It's early, but she doesn't want to give Tessa any easy chance. Great long red there by Bex. Like she could be onto this black into the top right corner. There's quite the angle on it. She'd be using the rest for that black. Very close to the in off, but unfortunately not a desirable red, so. There might be a gap for this long red just by the top right corner. Oh, there's always a gap, and didn't even need to use any part of the jaw there, went straight in. Bex is queuing quite nicely to start this match. It's got a pink. Like sometime to get that red away from the black, just free it up a little bit. Definitely thought about it. So that's opened up the black quite nicely. Some open reds. Great opportunity for Bex. Just needs to keep her focus, not get ahead of the game too much. She's on the shot, just take it one shot at a time. When that black finds the bottom of the pocket, regroup and create another plan for a few shots ahead. Just eyeing that red that she's close to. Just like a nasty fly, it's just becoming a nuisance to her. I'd like to run a bit more. It's a bit low on this red. Unfortunately enough, she does have pink and blue up in the middle part of the table. Gonna have to put together a nice shot here to go in and out of bulk off the pink. Come back down for another red. Just a handful of apologize, flicked off that brown, and she's nicely on this open red to the right of the pack. Really nice to see. She's stroking with confidence, that's for sure. Yeah, just tough from my vantage point just to see what goes and what doesn't go. Obviously the loose red looks like she's lining up for to the right of the bunch, but this is tricky. Almost there, so close. That would have been a great shot to continue the break going. No, she got a little break here. Are those reds blocking the path? I don't think so. Let's see how Tessa responds to that 42 break from her opponent, or 41 I should say. Got to be mindfully and off. Oh, very close. But needed a bit more pace. Tricky shot, right idea. Just wasn't successful with it. He wanted to push her cue ball up tables. Left an open red for Tessa. And with these caliber of players, you're not going to miss much. So you give them an inch, these players are definitely going to take a yard. Definitely she'd like to get that. Looks like the black would go back on the pink spot now. That blue really spoiled that red. So, and the break for Tessa, but she's slowly coming back. See how Tessa's long potting game is here. Nice long pot. Unfortunately, there's two sides to every shot. Get your desired ball into the bottom of the pocket and then get shape on a colored ball. And it's tricky for her right now. Might be able to sneak behind the brown off the green. Just gonna. Nicely done. I think there's a gap for Bex. Maybe just head off the right side of this red. That's to the right of the blue. Could come off a couple cushions and hopefully avoid that red that's just right of the pink spot. It's a nice response. Yeah, Rebecca Kenna, a 42-15 lead in this first frame. Round robin match. Pulled up just enough, I think. That black is blocking the path for that red into the right middle. That yellow is in a dangerous spot, that's for sure. Someone can take advantage of that and lay a snooker behind it. They'll be in good form. As in the round robin stage, it is 3 attempts on foul and misses, and as well, when we get to the colors, if more than 3 snookers are required, it's a concession. So Beck's trying for that yellow. Unsuccessful here. Oh, Miss Jamie Hunter. You're making me blush as much as a red ball on the table. One of the favorite boys. Well, I miss you very much, Jamie. It's too bad you couldn't make it this year. The inaugural champion of this U.S. Open in the chat. So if anybody wants to talk to Jamie about some of her experiences over here in Seattle, we do miss you. But hey, there's always next year. Because you'll always be the first, Jamie. There'll probably be many, many champions of this great tournament. But in the history books, everyone will remember who won it the first time. Last year's champion Mink Nutcharut still in the mix. Obviously, these two players that we're watching right here could be favorites to hoist the trophy on Sunday night. Beck's just needing a little extra help here, reaching for the mini butt. All the players now have all the different tools in their case, whether it's a mini butt or telescopic extension. They are the big tables, these 6x12s. Tricky red for Bex, but she might be come out all right on that. So much of that red is close to the top left corner pocket. I don't think Tessa really has a easy path to it. I'll do a little pinball shot here. That could be costly for Tessa. So often than not we see when there's those plant shots where there's a lot of space between two reds. Most of the time when they miss, one of those reds is going to be just in the throes of the pocket for an easy starter for your opponent. Good angle on the green to come back down for this loose red by the pink. So Bex Kenna in the driver's seat in this first frame. Very nicely done. So 45-point advantage for Bex with 43 on the table. So Tessa does need a snooker. It's not the hardest table right now to get it. See how crafty Tessa can be. Ooh. Dreaded double kisses. As I always say, double kisses are only good in France, not on a snooker table. See if Bex can punish Tessa for that mistake. Tessa got let off there. It's a good opportunity for Bex really to seal this frame. She wants to get it done and dusted sooner than later, but Tessa would like to prolong this. It's another double kiss. Could kind of maybe go for the gusto here, as that other red is really safe on the right side cushion. Taste that first frame victory. It's just right on the tip of her lips and just can't sink her teeth into it. I think Bex wants to get this done sooner than later. It's just with the pink and the brown and the yellow up in that area, starting to look like a really nice spot to run and hide behind. She might do off 2 cushions here. Look at this. Look at this. What a shot there by Bex. Fantastically played. Just when she may have been worried about getting a snooker at the hands of Tessa, she comes back and puts one of her own. So we are in the snooker's required stage. The cue ball will not go back, as there's 45 points in the frame and 43 on the table. Very nice hit there by Tessa. She's got an alright cue ball, that's for sure. It's one thing hitting the red ball when you're snookered, but you don't want to leave an easy starter. It's a little tough for Bex up against that cushion. Have no fear. Kenna is here. A little shot to nothing almost there. Played the blue in a fashion that she's going to get up in that safe area up there. Very nicely to put the pink safe. So it's definitely an uphill battle for Tess in this first frame. It is a best of 3. It's always get good in these quick little matches to get the first frame on board. You don't want to have your back against it and have to win that second frame to force a decider. We should put the yellow safe as well. Wanted to get right behind it. There's another open here for Bex. Don't think Tessa will be coming back to the table. Don't know if she can in the more than 3 snookers and a concession is needed, as the difference is right now 51 and there's 27 on the table. That's a nod from Tessa. So she concedes. That first frame goes to Bex Kenna. And we'll step aside for a word from our sponsors at winesellers.com and come back for frame 2. And welcome back, everybody, to the winesellers.com U.S. Women's Snooker Open of 2024. Referee Dave Daly has set everything up. And we got Bex Kenna to break off to start frame 2. Can she do the whitewash, or will Tessa Davidson force us into a decider? Only time will tell, but we're glad that you're tuning in wherever you're finding us, whether it's on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch TV. Look at the Ox Billiards page, and you'll find us. Great chat room with lots of friends of the broadcast in there. It's David Burney in the booth. Nice to hear from you all, and our good friend Stephen Wong is in the chat. How you doing, Stephen? He's gearing up for a big championship down at his club at the end of the month, the Embassy Open. It's nice that we do have the inaugural champ, Jamie Hunter, in the chat. But you know, we'd love to see Jamie here, and I know she'd love to be here too. Good to hear from you as well, Darcy Michael. Darcy does a lot of wonderful things for the great game of snooker up in Manitoba in Canada. Really runs a lot of great events. Hear always great words of what he's doing up there. Haven't made it out there yet, Darcy, but hopefully I can see you sometime in person soon enough. But keep on the good fight, because it's kind of the kickoff of the season for the women, and also for a lot of events in North America in snooker, because snooker's more like an indoor sport, obviously. And when we come to the summer months here, we usually are starved of beautiful weather, so most people stay outside. So getting into the autumn season is when people hunker down and remember that great game of snooker and pick up the cue and get going. Yeah, I'd have to agree with you there, Jamie. The first one, I must admit, not to toot my own horn, but I had the great pleasure of competing in the Media World Championship in Sheffield this past year. And first match was against our good friend Shavana, who does a great frame podcast. Surprised she's not over here in this event. She's a strong woman player. I remember playing her, and we had a slug match, but I finally was victorious. And it just, once you get that first match win, you get a little bit of confidence, and it fared for me quite well. I had a good fun with those tournaments, and all great guys in the press room, and gals. I didn't want to cannon into that brown. It's opened up a good opportunity here for Tessa. Very nicely done. So very, very tricky shots. You know, if you don't hit enough pace, you come up short, and then you've covered and created a free ball scenario, or get your opponent to shoot again. Big target here. These reds clustered together made kind of one big red that Bex hopefully could just roll into. a lot of time in the tournaments that are held here at Ox's, these tables are in pristine condition, and a lot of time players have a tough time adapting to the conditions because most clubs aren't really fitted with these top-notch conditions. But definitely looking at this match, Bex and Tessa have adopted quite nicely. Definition of a good player. Adapt to any situation they're in, whether it's a skating rink or the long rough at St. Andrews. They'll plow through and do what needs to be done to win the frame and match. Very nice pot. With this blind cut on the black, it's going to have a tough time controlling the cue ball. She might be able to put a little bit of bottom on it to decrease the angle and get into the reds. It doesn't look like where she's cueing. It looks like she's just making sure the black. She's at the table, so she's in control. Definitely, if you need any updates on any scores, see where your favorite player is, check out Snooker Scene, snookerscores.net, and locate the winecellars.com U.S. Women's Snooker Open of 2024. Find the group stage standings, high breaks. I believe that Mink had a high break of 64 yesterday. I'll have to check back to you to see what the high break of the tournament is so far. I did hear yesterday before I arrived that Mink was not Mink, Onyee, last year's runner-up, was looking very promising to a 147 and just missed it. Missed the red by a millimeter. So exciting stuff here. It's day 2. We're at the halfway point, moving day. So round robin will conclude in a few hours' time, and we'll have our first round of the knockout tonight at 5 p.m. Pacific time. So set your clocks. Thank you, Woogie Man 007. Crack statistician out there reporting that Onyee had a 78 break. Much appreciated. Always a great community we have on the chat. Everyone's here to help each other and have a great experience. We're always happy that you're tuning in. I think the angle's there for that red into the left middle. Looks like it's going to get a nice bounce to. Yeah, she's okay on that pink. Thought it might just have ran a bit too much, but pulled up. And the trouble part is that pink is going to go black on its spot. Really make a nuisance of some of those reds. Nice red. You get a nice. She goes straight on this green. She'd love a little bit of angle on that green to force her to come back down the table. Blue is a long pot, and with a nuisance with that yellow in the way. Well, with that brown not on its spot, the pathway to go in and out of bulk is a little easier for Bex off this blue. Wonderful shot. That's true. I think snooker, is a slow burn. I'm not actually really finding a problem with the pace that I've seen so far in this tournament. There have been some tournaments that I've been involved in, and you'd think the players were playing for their livelihood and all the riches in Persia. But as I said before in the previous match, a lot of these women players, they kind of know the shot. They'll take a look at a few maybe options, but when they get down to it, they'll be ready to knock in their ball or play the telling safety. I think it just goes to show you on the main tour just how proficient they are. Well, Nikki, when I see Bex, I'll make sure that let her know that you're all cheering and rooting for her. Ooh, little raise of the hand there. Big let out of breath. That could have gone wrong there. That white ball definitely danced around the middle pocket and almost dropped in. It's a game of high skill for sure, but sometimes you get a little bit lucky here and there. She's just getting referee Daly in the right position there, just to make sure she doesn't touch the ball. Even part of her hair, if it was to come down, would be a foul. As there's a player on the main tour, he might have fallen off, but Rory McLeod actually was penalized for a beard foul. He's got quite a long, straggly beard, a la ZZ Top, and he was charged with the foul. So I don't think Beck's ever really just got comfortable with that shot. Just the annoyance of the red. Was going for a regular cue length and had to get the mini butt, then decided for the rest. but still has a nice 37-2 lead in the second frame. I don't know how many people actually are aware that when we talk about time in the chat and slow players and fast players, that time wasting actually is a penalty, and it's not a 4-point foul. It's an actual frame. Obviously, it is a judgment call on the referee, and I'm pretty sure if one of these players were playing slow, that there would be a warning by referee Daly. Hello there, Mark Williams, but not that one. Good to hear that you're tuning in. It's nice to meet you in Sheffield this year, Mark. Hope you've been keeping well. Great that you're tuning in all the way from Scotland. This is a little bit annoying here for Bex. Queuing over the yellow. Kind of queuing down on it. So always a threat of if you don't hit right on the sweet spot, you might put some unwanted side. Not a worst shot in the world. Could be Casa here for Bex. Let's see what Tessa can take of this advantage. Just a little annoyance with that blue. Just creeps into your mind ever so slightly. I'd like that to run a little bit more. She does have the red on by the black. Always difficult when you're going from one side of the table to the other. Well, not a disastrous miss. She hasn't left an easy starter for Bex. Oh, Phil, thanks for the kind words about the commentary. I do try to let the play, the pitchers speak the words. This is nice with the chat. I'm able to answer most questions from the viewers because we do get some people that are very new to the game. Some don't know the philosophy of it. So if there are any questions, feel free to fire them our direction. It won't be too bad if she was a left-hander. So resort to the rest here, as this is a right-handed player. Nice rest shot. Looks like she's got a potentially good angle on this pink. It's going to naturally go up the table, give her a better angle on this red that's on the right side of the table. It's unfortunate, Philip, that you've got a little injury. Hopefully you can overcome that and get back onto the bays. Woogieman 007 wants to know what my highest break. It is a -7. No, kidding aside, that's impressive actually. Woogieman is 68. My high break is only at 47. Kind of faltered a little bit. But I do find I've kind of, I do enjoy playing recreationally, but I create a lot of events with some great people up in Vancouver area in Canada. So I'm finding sometimes I'm just kind of more behind the scenes, so I don't have a lot of time to put in the practice. So I think if someone else was kind of running it and I was able to compete in some of the tournaments, because it's very tough to compete and run a tournament at the same time. I found out that the hard way in my early days of tournament direction. So maybe someday we'll get more of a team and we'll allow some of us behind the scenes to get involved in the tournaments and play. And when you have something to play for, you really dig in with the practice, put in the hours, and hopefully I could overcome that 47 break. Maybe I can add a 1 to that 47 break. That would be a nice little treat. The good old parachute shot. Just going to swerve around this green. Oh, what a shot that was. Let's raise a hand for a fluke, but fantastically played there by Tessa. It's getting down to it, as we say. A lot of these matches we watch come down to the colors. I think it's a really good mantra to have if you're playing these matches. Just get me to the colors. Give me a chance when we're on the colors. Definitely Bex does not want to see this go to decider, because all the momentum will be riding on Tessa's shoulders. Momentum's so key in sports. It's a little too thin. But give Bex a shot. David Rowe, I'm just not sure exactly who is going to be on our stream table for the last round robin match. That's a great snooker there by Tessa. Anya was playing earlier today against Molina Ortiz of America. I think once the tournament does come to a conclusion in the following weeks, the great team at Ox Billiards will be editing the matches together and putting them up as individual matches on their YouTube page. So definitely you can always go back and look at that. And that's where the side did go wrong. So Tessa making a great shot using the side to get around the green. Bex tried there around the yellow, but unfortunately has less than easy open here for Tessa. Didn't want to cannon into that green. That's a little unfortunate there for Tessa. Yeah, it looks like there's maybe just a little bit of angle. More and more like this brown is going to be really important. She's going to have to go up and down the table here. There is a pathway for it. Big shot here for Bex. She wants to take this frame and match. She hasn't got the pot on, but she's at the table, so she can. She has control. What Tessa's going to have to deal with on her next shot. Wonder she might try coming cushion first, shooting that brown down the table. It's okay. Nicely done to push the pink a little closer to the side rail. A ball that Tessa will need. It's looking like a scary place there with the black and blue getting close together. Good target area to snooker. Great shot there by Bex, acknowledged by a tap on the table. Great etiquette with all these players, really. They'll acknowledge when a player makes a good shot. Uh-oh, could be a big one. Yeah, 6 points. And the brown is out there. She's going to put her back. So this is where referee Daly makes his paycheck. Just a little surprise on that decision by Bex. I think the brown was... It had some distance for the pot, but you come back in the same position. You've got Tessa, she's already got the mental brain power of the last one and comes successfully there to make a great contact. But a 14-point advantage, 22 on the table. Beck's kind of in the driver's seat. Blue and pink are close to cushions, although blue doesn't look too bad to go into the either top corner, but it will be a tricky shot. And pink is rather safe on that side. Great brown there by Tessa, but definitely it was going to be tough to hold for the blue. I think she's actually, in fact, snookered herself. A lot of wheels were turning there. Slowly kind of walks back to her chair, knowing that there's a chance. It's a thin cut on this blue for Bex. Great pot there. Wow. And that's put us into the Snookers Required stage. Tessa just needs one, and black is a little off the cushion, so we're not done just yet. Definitely Bex is in the driver's seat. It's great to see Tessa back. She had a very strong career when she was young, and it took quite an absence from the game. Decided to raise a couple children. Very good on her. We appreciate that. But it's great that she's back to the base and playing well. She's got the snooker there, but that was a nice shot there. Very clever, very creative. I like it. Let's see where she was going to go there. It's going to be tough. X should be able to get out of this. Oh. No. She doesn't. Fortunate enough, I think it's going to be a free ball. I believe that's been awarded by referee Daly. obviously in the free ball situation, you can't use your free ball to snooker your opponent except when we're down to the pink and black. But Tessa allowing her opponent back in. She's made good contact, but she's left the pink out in the open. Wow, what a miss. Thought that certainly was going to go in for Tessa. Maybe just a little nerves. It's always tough when, you have to make the shot. Once the frame is done and dusted, and you'll see players knocking it off the lampshades as those pockets become the size of buckets. That's a great pink there. Seals the deal for Bex. Handshakes all around. Bex has got to be real happy with that victory. What an exciting finish. I agree, Mark Williams. So we're going to step aside for about an hour's time. Our next match is going to be scheduled for 3 p.m. Pacific time. So definitely set your clocks, set your alarms. I'm just not sure exactly who is going to be in that match, but it's going to be a great one to close out our round robin phase of this great tournament. It's the WineCellars.com U.S. Women's Snooker Open of 2024. It's David Burney saying thank you for all your viewership. We're going to keep the stream running, but I'm going to step aside for a cold drink, and then we'll be back in about 50 minutes with another match. Thanks again, everybody. We'll talk to you soon. Take care.